is our induction and new teacher orientation plan that we've put together for Margaret Elementary School. Before we start, we're really going to set the purpose for this, and the purpose for coming up with this mentoring plan is because we found that low teacher retention rates are costing districts tons of money each year. They contribute to low teacher morale. They're disrupting teacher or student learning. So we wanted to really provide support for these teachers, these new teachers, and keep them with us, keep them in our system, and prevent them from leaving the profession. So to do that, we've come up with this mentoring plan, and our goal through the mentoring plan is really to provide new teachers this support that they need through mentors, through planning time, and through administrative support. So today we're going to talk about the legal and ethical issues that new teachers face. We're going to quickly review the Alabama Code of Conduct. We're going to talk about special education, ELL, career tech services that we have in St. Clair County. We're going to talk about the pre-K program that we have here at Margaret Elementary School, and then the literacy programs provided by St. Clair County. The students' use of technology in the classroom we'll cover. We're going to look at new teacher planning times, and we're going to quickly go over the mentoring program for new teachers. So this will kind of be an overview, and of course there will be more detailed information as we go, and you'll receive all this information in a handout as well to refer back to. So the legal and ethical issues that teachers face. Unfortunately, these three things that we're about to talk about are something that we hear about all too often on the news or in newspapers or on Facebook. Unlawful sex with minors. There just should never be sexual contact ever between teachers and students. It seems like that should go without being said, but again, we see it all the time, so we need to cover that. Sexually explicit text messages. Please don't text your students using your personal cell phone. We have apps that are approved, like Remind. All students, all teachers in St. Clair County have email. Use your St. Clair County email to communicate with students. Under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol should never be brought to school. It should never be brought to any school functions. All right, some other issues that new teachers face. So we wanted to really figure out what this is, because really, you know, us veteran teachers and our administrators at Margaret, we've been teaching a while. So we went to some of our newer teachers, maybe teachers with 1 or 2 years experience, and we said, what are some issues that you face? Other than the legal stuff, other than the ethical stuff, what are some things that really, you know, stress you out, or, you know, things that make it more difficult for you to be a teacher? And this is what they said. Support from administration, classroom management, just getting tenure, and just doing a good job. So these were some of the things that our new teachers at Margaret said were some issues for them in their first couple years. So we have kind of put this plan together because we don't want that to be an issue for our new teachers coming into Margaret. We're going to look at the Alabama Educator Code of Ethics. This is really just a guideline for ethical conduct. It's made up of 9 different standards. Professional conduct, trustworthiness, unlawful acts, student-teacher relationships, we touched on that earlier, the alcohol, drugs, and tobacco use or possession, public funds and property, remunerative conduct, the maintenance of confidentiality. We'll talk about this when we talk about our special ed students and ELL students. And the abandonment of contract. This is important. You all signed a contract when you came to work at St. Clair County, and it's important for you to review that contract and know the terms and conditions of that contract. All right, so a quick introduction to special ed. Free and appropriate educational opportunities are provided to all students with disabilities in the state of Alabama from the ages of 3 to 21. So they kind of age out when they're 21, and they start as young as 3, okay? So this is the evaluation process, or the special education process. We start with the referral, which is usually completed during our PST time, or a parent referral. They then go into the evaluation stage. This is where students are tested IQ test, achievement test, hearing and vision screening test, behavioral test. So there's a whole bunch that goes on in this step for us to collect the data that we need to determine if they're eligible. So eligibility is the next step. Is the student eligible to receive special education services? If we say that they are, looking at the data we've collected, if they do qualify, then we come together to write an IEP. And that's an individualized education plan. And it's done with a team of people at the school to try to help this child become successful and to be as successful as they can be. So we're going to talk about accommodations and modifications and strategies. And we're going to take what we talk about and what we put in this IEP, and we're going to implement that in our classroom instruction. So we'll do that for the remainder of the year, and then we'll all come back as a team and we'll talk about, were our interventions successful, or do we need to maybe tweak it and make some changes? So that's kind of the last step there, is the annual review. Our ELL learners are English language learners, and a common myth is that ELL students are Spanish speaking. Well, they are Spanish speaking, but an ELL student is a student that speaks any language other than English, okay? And that has to be their predominant language. That's determined through the home language survey that parents complete during registration. And if the parent identifies that they speak another language in the home more frequently than English, students begin receiving ELL services from an ELL teacher. Classroom teachers begin accommodations and modifications to help those students. In the spring, those students take the access testing, and we use that to track their progress while they're with us. And those services will continue until a student scores a 4.8 or higher on the test. In St. Clair County, we have a great career tech program, and I know that we're an elementary school, and this is really more geared toward high school students, but I think it's important for us to know as new teachers what opportunities our county provides for our students. So just real quick, these are a few that are offered through St. Clair County. Building construction, business, marketing, collision repair, health sciences and technology, cosmetology. There's JORTC program and welding, fire science. So there's a lot of options here maybe for students that aren't on that college track, and they can leave high school with certificates, and then they're ready to work. We have a pre-K program here at Margaret. It's one of Alabama's first pre-K programs. We have 2 classes. And this is a program that really prepares children for success later in school, okay? Each elementary school in St. Clair County now has at least 1 pre-K class in their school. So that's been a big thing for us to really build our pre-K programs. And we found that students that participate in these are less likely to repeat a grade or need remedial services. They're more likely to score higher on these achievement tests that we take, and they're more likely to graduate high school and pursue some form of secondary education. So we're really proud to be able to offer this program to our families and our students here in the Margaret community. Adolescent literacy. Currently, St. Clair County uses the College and Career Ready standards to drive our literacy instruction. If we have students that are below grade level, these are some of the interventions that they receive. They receive their instruction from highly qualified teachers. Grades K through 2 use the Saxon Phonics program. Reading strategies by Jennifer Saravallo for grades K through 5. We use these to help teach those reading skills. All of our teachers are ARI trained, and if you're not, then we can offer ARI training for you. Our students in Tier 3 and our EL students all are on Lexia. We have licenses for those students that need that extra help through Lexia. And they also receive services through Tier 2 and Tier 3 intervention groups. And speaking of our technology with Lexia, technology in the classroom, when students register at St. Clair County, it's online registration now. So at the beginning, students are required to sign saying that they have read and understand the board's technology compact, and that really lays out the guidelines of acceptable use for school computers, for internet usage, usage on mobile devices, personal electronics, and their student privacy, like their passwords and things like that. So one of the things that our teachers said they thought they needed more of when we asked our new teachers what some of their struggles were was the planning time. So to address this, at Margaret we have set up PLCs, and new teachers will be encouraged to join a PLC that supports their needs as a new teacher. Okay, now we have 3 going right now. We have a math PLC that's really focusing on number talks and building that math fluency. We have a reading PLC going right now that's focusing on vocabulary instruction, and we also have a classroom management PLC. So they would be encouraged to choose the one and join the one that they feel that would be most beneficial for them. Mentor meetings, new teachers will meet with their mentor teacher every 2 weeks, okay? And that's really a time for y'all to ask questions, help plan, just even the day-to-day stuff, okay, to get help with that. And then common planning time. New teachers will work with their grade level or department to plan, okay? So we have weekly grade level meetings, or if you're 3rd through 5th and departmentalized, then you're going to meet with your department once a week. So our mentoring program, this is the last thing we need to talk about today. It kind of starts with our administration. We have a school-wide mentor, which is 1 teacher. We have building level mentors, and then we have you, the new teacher. Okay? So administration will choose that school-wide lead mentor, and some things that your school-wide lead mentor will have. These are their qualifications. They're going to have at least 5 years experience at that school site. Served as a member of the school improvement team and other leadership teams or leadership roles, and good organization and communication skills. That's a must for a school-wide lead mentor. So that school-wide lead mentor, that 1 teacher, she's going to look out to the grade levels, and if we have a new 3rd grade teacher, she's going to look to her other 3rd grade teachers, her more veteran teachers, and she's going to decide who would be a good mentor for my new 3rd grade teacher, okay? So she's looking for somebody with at least 3 years experience at our school, experience in the grade level or the content area, and good organizational and communication skills. So our school-wide mentor has some responsibilities, and this is what those are. Assign the new teachers to a building level mentor, which is what we just talked about. Schedule and plan monthly meetings. Collect mentor communication logs monthly. It's important that we document our meetings and our communications with our mentors and our new teachers, because we really want to know, is this plan working? Is it effective? And we can do that through documentation. They have to send the documentation into central office every month, and that's just an accountability issue. And they'll attend quarterly training and new teacher orientation during the summer. And the responsibilities of the building level mentor, these are the ones that work one-on-one with those new teachers. They check in weekly with the new teacher, and it can be formal, let's sit down, let's schedule a time, or it could just be a pop-in, hey, is there anything you need? Is there anything I could help you with? They need to schedule a time to have that bi-weekly formal meeting, okay? Really every couple weeks we do need to sit down and say, what are you struggling with? What can I help you with? What can I do to make this easier? That's going to be a responsibility of the building level mentor. Complete a monthly communication log. We talked about that. And to help with lesson plans, paperwork, just the day-to-day, the school procedures. Okay? So, and we are hoping that through our new teacher orientation plan and mentoring plan that we'll be able to retain and keep these teachers.